Sup everyone, welcome back to another video. So we are just a little over, how long has it been? 24, 30 hours after the 3.3 live stream, giving myself enough time to cool down. Like, not talking from hype at least anymore. I mean, let's be honest, Scaramouche is a character a lot of people have been waiting for a very long time. He's been introduced in the story even in like patch 1 point something, right? Like since we first met Mona or something, when he first appeared on that cliffside with that very sinister vibe. And I think a lot of people would say, oh my goodness, he's my guy, he's my husbando. But you know, taking a step back, if you look and evaluate Scaramouche and now his role in the game, he's not Electro, he's a Nemo, and he's being released with a dedicated Nemo support. Now, first things first, people would be like, oh my goodness, it's so unfair, right? Scaramouche coming out with his own Nemo support. What about Zhao? What about Zhao? So I think Scaramouche's release, I don't know, because I don't look at leaks and I don't have access to the test server for the content creators. But it doesn't take a genius to line up two dots, right? To say that, well, we have Faruzan. Like, let's just not look at Scaramouche yet. Let's not look at Scaramouche yet. Let's look at Faruzan. We have Faruzan, a dedicated Nemo support. It seems to support Nemo carries. Interesting. So who's another Nemo carry that is not Scaramouche, right? Zhao. So after all these years, I'm happy to say at least we have an Nemo support that could be paired with Zhao. Now, their synergies, I don't know. But I would imagine HoYoverse did not completely forget our guy Zhao in the dust, right? In the trash bin, and actually thought about him when, okay, we're designing an Nemo support. So what's a great way to revitalize an old characters and maybe drive up some of his sales? Maybe if people in the future comes out and really enjoys a character like Zhao, you know, there's a reason to pull for Zhao, because we now have a dedicated Nemo support. Now, because we have a Nemo support, this also potentially means that mono Nemo teams or Nemo-based hyper carry teams are going to start making their way into the game. Now, are they going to be meta? Are they going to be game shattering? Who knows, right? Because when we talk about this stuff, it makes more sense and it is more relevant to talk about this at C0, which brings us now to Scaramouche. Do you guys think, like, this is an honest question too, I've asked people in chat already here on my live stream, that do you think HoYoverse is going to release Scaramouche in a state where even at C0, Scaramouche is going to be functioning optimally, going to feel comfortable to play, going to be dishing out competitive levels of damage? When I say competitive, it's like, well, you're a hyper carry, right? Like, you should be dealing competitive hyper carry levels of damage, similar to Ito, similar to maybe even Zhao with Faruzan. Are you going to be around the same output as Zhao with Faruzan? Or are you going to be power creeping Zhao with Faruzan, right? Being in a character that's released like a year and a half, maybe like closer to 2 years, well, not 2 years, right? Maybe a year and 8 months, 9 months, give or take. After Zhao's release, will HoYoverse introduce anything new to Scaramouche's kit that statistically power creeps Zhao? Because let's be honest, the one thing I can say, even like without, let's be honest, nobody needs to look at leaks to know that likely Scaramouche is going to be power creeping Zhao in the constellations department, because we've had characters that were released one patch after Zhao that already power creeped his constellations, right? So I think vertical scaling wise, Scaramouche is going to be the stronger carry over Zhao. Like, it's just, you can't avoid it. He has a modern kit. He has a modern constellation design. He's coming out with his signature artifacts as well. So, like, I don't know how well these artifacts are going to be performing on Zhao, but if they're 10-15% increase over his already existing artifact set, it makes it incredibly difficult for people to justify going in and spending months to grind it. Maybe at the end of the day, Zhao is just going to share the same artifact set as Scaramouche, right? You're just going to, every time you want to play Zhao, switch it over. Every time you want to play Scaramouche, switch it back. And then suddenly Zhao and Scaramouche becomes this interchange Nemo hypercarry brethrens who, you know, share the same team. But at the same time, Scaramouche also seems a lot more flexible than Zhao because of how he applies a Nemo. Like, Scaramouche is like Zhao, but on steroids. Like, the man can go up, down, left, right, and he floats and he can hover, and then whereas Zhao just go up, down, up, down, up, down, right? There's very little control you have to Zhao's movements. It's all fixed distance with very little variance. Like, some people would be like, oh, well, I can make Zhao jump shorter. Oh, instead of this high, I can make him jump this high, which, sure, I guess, but you're never going to reach the level of finesse that Scaramouche has with his mobility control. So at the end of the day, I do think that Scaramouche is going to be overall a better character. Now, I don't want to scream power creep, power creep, power creep, because I think that each of these characters have their own charm. But I think it would be foolish of us to say that Zhao is still going to be able to keep up with Scaramouche in all departments with no, like, glaring weaknesses, because as Zhao compared to Ito, who was released like I think at this point a year ago, or maybe even longer, Zhao was already like severely outdated compared to Ito's kit design. I'm not talking about damage, okay? I'm talking about kit design. So as hopium as I want to be, as optimistic I want to be, yes, there are good things to take away, but I think this is a step in the right direction overall for Anemo, because right now Anemo is just too centralized on viridescent supports, and that's like their one true identity. And being able to branch away from that into Scaramouche with his own dedicated artifact, with his own dedicated Anemo support, would shed some light into Anemo being able to function outside of being support oriented. And also with Dendro being now such a strong support element, and Dendro for the most part don't want much to do with Anemo, it's great to break away from the mold and introduce something new, breathe some life into this element apart from just like, look at me, I can make you do more damage. How about maybe for a second take a step back and let me take the spotlight and shine, right? Hopefully Scaramouche could be a dedicated on-field carry that deals great damage, and we can finally have some, you know, light green numbers on screen that are just looking very bold and satisfying. Looking forward to it. I'm certainly going to be building Scaramouche. I think there's a great opportunity to once again revisit the Anemo carry options, and you can bet I'm going to try my best to make Zhao feel better. Although I think damage-wise, nobody was ever really complaining about it. But we'll see. Maybe some extra zeros on his plunge attacks. Maybe that's going to change something. Maybe people are going to suddenly feel like, wow, you know, he's a new character. Suddenly it all makes sense. But most likely not. What do you guys think, though? How excited are you for Scaramouche? I'm going to say his burst skill doesn't really look that enticing. Honestly, it looks like a... like a spoiled brat. I think chat agrees with me, and that actually apparently fits the narrative of his character and design. Whatever. I'm done arguing with chat today, maybe for another day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm excited for 3.3, not just because of Scaramouche and the revitalization of Anemo, but also for the TCG. It's actually more complex than I initially thought it was going to be. That's also a good thing, by the way. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned. Lots more content coming your way when it comes to 3.3. All right, till then, urge you all to stay safe. Peace. Bye-bye.